Oh, YouTube fans, here again. And you probably upload this one tomorrow because there's no point doing any videos. As we all know, it's Noisy Bonfire Day, the day where you get a bloody earache. So there's no point doing vids on Friday. So when you do see this one and you think, why you're not in any fireworks, there's your answer. Now, I remember showing the box set of these, that being Dirty Harry and all the box set. So I said I was going to do them. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to do them. The original, the classic Dirty Harry. Now, I'm going to be open, I've got to be honest. I was never a lover of the original, but I respect it. I respect it for what it brought. I was more of a lover of the sequels, but I do respect the original Dirty Harry. Now let's get into the history. Originally it was going to be Steve McQueen, but at the time he was doing another film. Then it was going to be John Wayne to play Dirty Harry. Not making this up. But at the time again, Don Wayne was doing another film. So they was looking and looking and looking. And at the time, there was having Clint Eastwood. You know, Clint Eastwood was known for doing the spaghetti westerns, the man with no names and so on. But decided, why not? Let's give him a chance. So Clint Eastwood got the role. It made a lot of money, made a lot of sequels, and the rest is history. So you got a day opening, you've got this beautiful girls, this swimming, don't get excited lads, he's wearing a bathing uniform, and she gets shot and dies. What way to open your film? Then you got Dirty Harry investigating what's happened, and he finds out this was a murder. She was sniped, and you find out it was some evil guy called the Scorpion Killer. Now, if anyone has ever seen Dirty Harry, you know the actor. He was famous for being in the film Gold Scorpion with, if you all know, Sylvester Stallone. It sounds like a Sylvester Stallone version of Dirty Harry. And he was known for playing in the original Hellraiser. I suppose a deleted scene where you see him in Hellraiser 2. He was known for playing the father in Hellraiser. But in this, he plays the Scorpion Killer, and he plays competing with the epitome of stun. I mean the epitome of stun, because he's killing people, he's sniping people, and he wants money for it. The scene where he kills a kid, but I'm happy to say it's professionally done. You don't see it, it's off camera, but you got the idea that he's done it. So I don't know, like the touches of Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry's kind of like the old-fashioned type of cop. For people think in the 70s it was the good old days, scumbags got the well-deserved. Think again. This, for its time, was a very predictable film. It's a very debut film for its era. It really was. You know what I mean, back in the early 70s, films like Dirty Harry was never heard of before. You've had cop shows, you know what I mean, over the years you had like Starsky and Hutch and so on, but you never had anything like this. This was like, you know, very, very debut. Does it's not now, but for its time it was. So Dirty Harry is like the old-fashioned type of cop. You treat a stun bag like a stun bag, where you've got the ones who's imperious, who was like, no, 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 pay it by the book, pay it by the book. But Dirty Harry knows that this guy's a psycho, basically. He's a psycho. He kidnaps a girl. Again, you don't see a lot. It's not as fine as the sequels. But what he really does is upsetting enough. You know what I mean? You see a scene where you find a tooth, and you've got the idea he pulls a tooth out with some spires, which is like disturbing. And she gets killed in a horrible way. But I like the fact that Dirty Harry finds out who he is, goes after him. But before all that, there's a bit where the psychopath is after him go attacking Mouse with a bag. And he's laughing, he's getting off in it. He's about to batter our mate, being Dirty Harry, but his partner gets the better hand, but he gets wounded. Before that, though, his partner is going to be his partner, and a lot of people say, oh, you don't want to be his partner, have his partners get killed, and they get wounded, which is funny because they're doing the film as the sequels go on. But he does get wounded, and he only plays his partner, funny enough, played Sylvester Stallone's partner in Scorpion. Another good film. I just reviewed that one day around the road. But it's a good film, this, you know what I mean? It's very upsetting, it's disturbing, it's fine, but it's not as fine as the other ones. And I like the way Clint Eastwood plays it, you know what I mean? You don't really know all that much about him, but what you do know, he delivers a good performance. So again, his mate gets wounded, he visits him in hospital, and he doesn't want to be a cop anymore. He wants to now be a teacher, which you get a bit of that in the second one. But before I get through all that, let's not forget the beautiful lines he says. You see when a guy's robbing a bank and he's pulls that gun out and he says, I know what you're thinking. does he fire 6 shots or does he fire 4? With all his excitement, I kind of lost out. But this being a 64 Magnum, the most powerful handgun ever, you gotta ask yourself, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? And I like that scene. Does the guy says something stupid like, I've got to know. And turns out he had the safety tats on, he had no bullets. And the guy robs the bank, funny enough, in a lot of other Dirty Harry films as different characters. So I like Ducks. And again, you got the die, right? And Gus, he killed the Durr, and Clint Eastwood got the better of him. He tortures him. They have to let him off, which is fucking same. And this psychopath, he plays a die basically to beat him up, and I mean he really beats him up. He looks a fucking mess. He looks like a fucking alien, to be honest. He does look like a frigging alien. But because they let him off, Dirty Harry says a line, I couldn't have done it. He looks so damn good. The psychopath ducks some kids on a stew bus. He actually ducks some kids on a stew bus. There's the idea that he's a psycho. So Clint Eastwood pretends to give him the bag. He's disgusted on his superiors. He's disgusted how they acted with him. So he jumps off the bus. He goes after the bad guy. And again, the guy's about to shoot a kid. But after say, Clint Eastwood gets the upper hand and shoots him and wounds him. And the kid runs off. Yeah, he's fighting. But that's one thing I like about Dirty Harry. It doesn't go that router. But again, he says that beautiful line. I know what you're thinking. Does he fire 6 shots or does he fire 7? With all this excitement, I kind of lost out. You're going to ask yourself, this being the most powerful gun, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? But the only difference is when he says it this time, he's a lot more serious. He's a lot more serious. Scorpion Killer is a bit fucking dumb because he goes to pull the fucking gun out, and Clint Eastwood, being Dirty Harry, gets the better, shoots the fucker and kills the fucker. And I think, yes, tear pounding moment, because the guy's a scumbag. He's epitome of scum. Now there's a bit where he gets the bads, sees the killer on the water, and he just folds the bads, walks off. And I love the way the film, it does it in the mall by the way, pans out in a full screen format, and then it's just the end of the film. And I just love the way that's done. It's such beautifully shot, it's beautiful scene, the way it's shot out. You've got really dramatic music. It goes do 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 do. I'm not going to do the rest because I won't do it justice. But they sort of like used that music also in the Magnum Force. The only time they never used that music, I think, was in the Enforcer. The time used a different type of music there. But with Dirty Harry, people said it was predictable, it was too in your face with predictable. Dirty Harry was a bit dirty. Wait till you get to Magnum Force, where you get bent cops who are like vigilantes, they're killing rapists, they're killing pimps, they're killing murderers, they're killing whatever. But they don't give a shit, they even kill women. Anyone that gets in the way, they kill. You know what I mean? Vigilante or not, scumbags or not, they kill anyone that gets in the way. They even kill their own to cover their own tracks. That is more predictable than Dirty Harry when it got to the second Dirty Harry film. But this one, I wasn't as mad on it. You know what I mean? There's a few little bits in there. There's a bit with his peeping and these people beat him up, Dirty Harry. There's a bit where the guy's about to kill himself. He's suicidal. And Dirty Harry winds him up and he knocks the suicidal person out. That reminds me a bit like in Lethal Weapon, the original. But as action wise, I felt the others had more action in it. But saying that, I still like Dirty Harry. I respect what it brought. It brought an icon, being Clint Eastwood. He wasn't just known then for doing spaghetti westerns. He was known for the Dirty Harry films. I like the fact it made a lot of sequels. They all had a different name. They all had a different story to it. That being the original, the classic of 1971, Dirty Harry. And as I would say, go ahead, make my day, as I will eventually do the rest of the Dirty Harry films into them. See you later.